Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the island of Colonsay on XPN 11 with the Islander in front of us in Hebridean Air livery. This is going to be the final part of our hops between the islands. If you watched the previous episode in this series, you'll have seen us landing on Colonsay and with a kind of entertaining crosswind landing. Tonight the plan is to go to Islay, and it says here that Islay is the second largest of the island of the Southern Hebrides compared to Mull, and there are 3,300 people living on the island. Let's have a quick look at the map before we do anything else. And so we are here on Colonsay. And again, it's a short flight down to Islay down here. But to make things easy for me tonight, I'm going to have the pilot's going to have a nice relaxing flight. We're going to not do a visual approach. We're going to go for, I think there's an RNAV approach to Islay, so we are going to attempt to use that. Yeah, so when we landed here in Colonsay, it's very gusty crosswind, and I don't know whether it's just this airplane with its huge wing, relatively lightweight. Maybe it was the full landing flaps, but it certainly seemed to be affected quite a lot by the crosswind. Not quite sure what the weather's like tonight. I'm hoping it's a bit easier. Let's, in the cockpit, we have our trusty passengers. Let's have a quick look at the setup where we're going. EGPI is Islay, and then the wind's 310 at 18, so it's a fairly strong wind. It's not the same wind, interestingly enough, that I get from the Metar little nav map. It's currently saying the wind, oh no, it is, it must have updated, 310 at 16. Okay, that sounds like runway 31 to me. Would be ideal. Let's have a look and see what procedures we've got. Runway 31 RNAV. Now, interestingly enough, if you read the small print here, it says use of RNAV procedure restricted to Highlands and Islands Airports Limited, approved operators only. So for the purposes of tonight, we're going to assume that we're approved to do this. And so this is the approach. This is the initial approach fix here that we probably want to use, the one towards the north, Kev. We need to be 3,600 feet there. Let's hope we can climb that high in that time. Okay, well that's kind of the plan. I'm hoping that the GPS is just going to do everything for us. So with that in mind, let's get started up. So I turn the battery on. Turn the battery on. The parking brakes on. Battery is on. Beacon is already on. Mags can come on. Fuel tank selectors are on. Pumps are on. Levers are sensible positions. Throttle is primed. This time I'm going to remember to turn on the external supply. Tonight I'm going to remember everything. It's not going to forget anything on it, obviously. External supply is on, so should be able to start with the right starter. Okay, so we have right engine start. And we have left engine start. And yes, I did forget to turn the right alternator on before starting the left engine, so I've failed already. Okay. Cabin lights, passenger notices can come on, avionics can come on. Now let's see if we can, let's turn this transponder on. Let's see if we can get the procedure in the flight plan. So if we go flight plan, EGEY is where we are now. So if we add a destination of EGPI, And we go procedures. And it'll be an approach on a 3-1. And RKEV, I think let's just double check. Yeah, RKEV makes the most sense as we're coming from the north. Yeah, that should be fine. Where's the turny thing not turning? And we may as well activate the procedure because we want to head straight for the initial approach fix. Cool, 26 miles. Okay, and what we'll do, put this back on the default screen, and we'll set the press CDI button here so we have GPS on our autopilot tracking thing, which means I'm going to have to remember how to make the autopilot work as well. Now, altitude, so we need to be at 3,600 feet at RKEV, so that sounds like a good target for me, for the autopilot. QNH, I guess we use the Islay QNH, it's probably close enough. 1019, which I think is at the bottom of this conversion chart, 30.09. 30.1, 30.09, that's probably right, and yeah, I'm going to say that's, what's the altitude at Colonsay, 39 feet, yeah, it's fairly close. And I just set the other altimeter up approximately the same. Okay, that's probably all we need to do before taxi. Now, taking off from here, yes. Now, Colonsay runway is sort of east-west. If the wind's from the north, I guess we want to take off slightly, as it's just runway 28, so yeah, we'll make a left turn out of here and backtrack to the left for takeoff. Let's just double check what the winds are here. 310, yeah, okay, we'll do that. Right. Oh, fuel pumps can come off for now. So let's taxi out and do our run-up procedures. I may as well turn on the pitot and turn on the nav lights. And as we're about to taxi, I'm going to turn on the landing stroke taxi lights. Okay, all clear. Release the brake. Now, just wondering if we're parked on some grass or something, because it doesn't really seem to be moving very much. Just gonna put the transponder on alt, so remember to do that this time. No strobes. Set the flaps after we've done the run up. And as we take it up to the road west, I'm going to make it a right turn out after takeoff to come back, and then come back down south to intercept the GPS course. Okay, parking brake on. Run up checks, mixture full, 2100 RPM. think my head tracking has temporarily gone insane with some sun outside. Let me just lock that for a second. Okay. Mags, right mags. Yep, we got a definite drop there. Maybe a drop there. Yep. May not need head tracking tonight actually, if we're doing the RNAV approach, let's hope. Right, so that's mags, back to 1500. And we'll do cycle the prop RPM. Okay. We'll do carb heat, and we'll do that by just having a look at the carb temperature gauges as we open up the carb heat. Oh yeah, they move really rapidly. So I guess that's working fine. Now, is there anything else we need? Nav lights on, beacons on, external supply can come off. Isolation, starter isolation, that is, turn that off. Peters are on, these are full forward. Fuel pumps can come on, flaps to take off, and I think we're good to go. Okay, let's release the brakes and let's go. Fair bit of rudder here tonight. Let's just bring the props back and throttle back slightly for noise purposes. We're high enough now that we can raise the flaps. And let's start a turn to the right. No, we do want to climb to 3,600 feet, so we need to keep our climb going. I'm going to turn off the fuel pumps now and turn off the landing lights. And we've already raised the flaps. Actually fairly low clouds here. 3,600 may take us up into the cloud. Now we're beginning to intercept the line on the GPS. So what I think I'll do is I'll just straighten up here, get the heading bug aligned, and I think we'll turn on the autopilot, which should go in pitch hold mode, and then I'm going to go nav, which will hopefully get us following the GPS course, and then I guess we want vertical speed mode, and let's go using the key. I've got keyboard plus minus buttons for vertical speed. Let's try for about 800 feet per minute and see how that looks. And also bring the map up, and we'll set. We need to arm the altitude, so we need. Is there an alt set or an arm? Yeah, I'll press arm. So we should then level off at 3,600. We've got Avi tab open. Let's have a look on the map. Seeing as we're in GPS, I feel it we're justified in leaving the picture of the plane on the map so we can see where we're going. So we're pretty much heading straight for the northern tip of Islay here. In terms of the flight plan, Kev is 23 miles. We're expecting to get there in 10 minutes. We're climbing quite well. I wonder what those mountains are over there. I guess. Is that going to be here or over on our end? Or is it here? It'd be here, won't it? Could be there, I guess. Be easier to see once we level off. Now, we're coming up to leveling off time, so in anticipation, I'm just going to get ready to start to bring the power back. I'm hoping that this GPS approach also lets us follow the GPS glide slope. So my plan is that we'll be able to press approach mode when we get near the final approach fix. Seems there's no ILS. Okay, I'm just going to take the power back a bit now as we level off. Go back to just over 20. And let's get the props back to about 2300. So about 23 inches and 23 on the props. And we'll watch the exhaust gas temperature here go up as we lean until it peaks, and then we'll lean into just past the peak, which I'm going to call there. And I think we are actually flying into clouds, aren't we here? So we may not see very much. There's the channel there, which will be this channel, and that's Islay on the right then. And we are going into some clouds. Do we need to check anything else? So we've got mixture set, prop set. Do we need any de-icing here? I'm not quite sure how cold it is. Is that a temperature thing? If that is, it's not very. It's not too bad. Well, about 5 degrees, we're probably okay, and we're not moving very far. So, here's the course now. Let's just go back to the charts now, so you know where we are. I guess the initial approach fix is somewhere down here. It's here actually. So we're 3,600 feet at AirCav, and then at P31I we need to be at 2,000 feet, is that right? So I guess we descend from 3,600 to 2,000. So I'm going to dial 2,000 in as our next target altitude, and we are really in the soup now. So I'm quite glad we've got. So if we didn't have the GPS, we'd have to just go down lower. So we're not seeing much of Islay. I don't know that much about Islay. I've never been there. I know it's famous for its whiskies. Not a big fan of. Well, I wasn't a big fan of kind of peaty, smoky whiskey, so I've never really gone for like the Laphroaig and the other brands from Islay. Although I think aren't there some from the north of the island that are smoother or milder. So I'm not sure. Now, how are we doing for... We're okay for speed and altitude. Should we just do a weather check again, see if anything's changed? We still got 1019, 310 at 18, okay. Just gonna have to trust in the RNAV, I think. Let's have a look outside. Yeah. Fairly cloudy. It's more this bit of the chart we're interested in now, with the altitudes we've got to be at. Is there anything about minimum? Is there anything about the glide path? Path angle. So I hope we can get a GPS glide path. So LPV. Have we got LPV? I think in X-plane you do. So 339 feet we can go down to before we need to abort and go around. And what's the go around? Go around is runway heading. Climb to 2,500. Ah, and here we are on the chart heading for Kev. Sounds like our Kev. See how the passengers are doing. They seem remarkably unconcerned, which is good. I'm hoping that we drop out of this cloud layer. I think because we only just went into it, so I'm hoping that... how's the temperature doing? Not great. Maybe I should try putting propeller de-icing on for a bit. Let's put that on for a bit just in case. Ah! That's what we needed to do to clear the clouds. It's very efficient, that the de-icing kit on this. Right, let's just turn that back off again. Cool. We've got a chance of seeing things. Let's have a look, see if we can see the island. There we go, it's Islay. I guess 16 and 12 there, is that one of the highest points that we're just a beam of? Very grey outside. Well, at least we're out of the clouds. Let's see if those clouds are still there. Oops. Yeah, so it must have just been the way we came there. Now over here we've got 5 miles to go. Then we've got to start our descent, and so when we descend, we could use these up-down buttons, or we could hit VS. Tempted to go for VS just because you know where you are then. I suppose we should turn this thing to the final approach course, 304 degrees, just to make things kind of... I'm not even sure if you can do that with the GPS, but let's put it on 304. It looks like 304. It's reasonably close to 304. And we're at 1 minute away from our right turn and our descent. Now how far is that? 5 miles. So we've got 5 miles to... yeah, we've got plenty of distance to descend 1,600 feet. So we'll just go for maybe, what, 700 feet per minute or something. See how that works out. Yeah, we're going reasonably quickly, so 2 miles a minute, so about a couple of minutes, yeah, about 700 feet per minute should be about right. Turn in 5 seconds. Turning. Okay, let's descend, so VS and minus 700, and let's bring the power back so we don't pick up much speed. Into some more cloud as well. We better arm the new altitude. That's better, we're out of the clouds. What do we do after we get... So we then stay at 2000 until we get to PI 31F. I'm hoping we can just hit approach when we get onto this bit and see if we get a GPS glide. Well, I mean, these sort of weather conditions, it would have been hunt the runway again if we weren't using the GPS. Now, how far away are we? We're 2.7. We're 1 minute away, and we're not really at 2,000 feet. But actually, it doesn't matter too much because 2,000 is probably really the minimum there. We stay at 2,000 until we get to this sort of till we get to the final fix anyway, so yeah, we're fine. We might not reach 2,000 before the turn, but that's okay. We'd be close enough. Let's do a final. Let's just let this turn happen. We should be leveling off. When we level off, I just put a little bit of power back in, maybe up to about 18, so we don't slow down too much. And this should be on track for the airport, which is sort of on the other side of this part of the island. I was just going to double check that we're still on the correct 1019. Okay, what I think I'm going to do now is hit approach mode and hope that we maybe will get a glide slope. Now, do we start descending? Yeah, we start descending from 31F, which is in 1 minute. So really we want to, well, drop our gear, which we haven't got. So I think we want to be slow enough at the top of that to start to put in flaps. And actually, reading up on this, you can put in, I think you can put in the approach flaps, anything less than 118. So I'll bring it down a bit, but I mean, we could actually use approach flaps now, I think. Let's just go for 15 inches manifold. I'm hoping that these things here are glide slope indicators, and yeah, they appear to be moving, which is excellent news, which means we're going to get the GPS glide. And the plane should descend for us. I'm going to put the fuel pumps back on, and I'm going to put the landing lights back on. And we're starting to descend. I'm going to go on 1 notch of flaps, and I'm going to put props forward and mixture forward. And now hopefully the autopilot will keep us on the glide and keep us lined up, and we just got to look out for the runway. And now minimums, what were they, 339? Yeah, still above, what are we at now, 1,700 feet? Still can't see a runway. Actually, that might be a runway there, just quite hazy. We could probably put the missed approach altitude in now. What is it? 2,500. He said, hoping not to muck up anything that we're currently doing. Okay, I think we can get rid of this for now. Still not hugely sure where the runway is. Ah, there it is. Okay, fine, good. I guess we are crabbing slightly to the right, so there might be a bit of a crosswind from the left. What is the wind? 310. Yeah, should be pretty much in line. Although if you look at the course we're on, we're to the right of it, so there must be a bit of a crosswind from the left. And I think soon we'll go for the final. How far are we away from the runway? 2.7 miles. That should be about 1,000 feet. Yeah. We'll go for let's go for final flaps and get everything speed stabilized and ready. Yeah, so if we've got a wind from the left, I guess we need to land wing low on the left. We'll try and do that a bit later this time when we're almost about to touch down or transition from the crab. Or we'll try. So I'm not very good at that. Let's take the autopilot out about 500 feet, and then we'll get a feel for how it's going. Pretty much where we want to be, I think. Again, I think we'll approach slightly faster than normal. Case we have got, although the wind's not gusty, so again, I've got no idea what we do when we get to the runway, where the terminal building is or anything. Should have checked that on the map, but probably not the time to do it right now. That's 500. I think I'll disconnect the autopilot. In theory, we have nothing to do except keep it. We're already trimmed from the autopilot. We just have to keep lined up. And we don't seem to have. Yes, we do have some lights. And do we have two? I think we have 2 whites and 2 reds. Which is nice of the autopilot to leave us like that. Actually, if we're crabbing right, does that mean... That means the wind's from the right, doesn't it? So we definitely don't want wing low on the left. We want wing low on the right. Yes, we're having to head into the wind, aren't we? That would make more sense. Okay, so when we come out of the crab, we'll try and keep the right wing low. And those look like terminal buildings on the right there. They're slightly high, so I'm just going to bring the throttle back a little bit. Maybe in for a long landing here. Start to look along the runway now. Just start to bring the power back. Left rudder, bit of right wing down. We're down. Again, the nose may have dropped a little bit abruptly there. I'll have to remember to try and keep that up and bring it down slowly. And oh, I've got no head tracking on. Okay, let's try and do that without head tracking. I'm guessing we can backtrack and go in this taxiway here, even if it is to another runway. This is like a fairly decent sized airport. Let's see if head tracking's behaving itself again. The head tracking setup I've got is only a cheap one. It's basically open track with a old PS2, whatever it is, camera with an infrared filter stuck in front of it, and open track running infrared detection. So like I've got a set of headphones with 3 infrared LEDs on a clip. I can't remember where I bought them from, but you can buy them pre-made. And where are we going? Have we missed? No, we haven't missed nothing there. That doesn't look like a taxiway because there's no yellow marking, so I guess we just go to the end here. Yeah, and then I find the head tracking really useful for visual circuits, and just in general really, it saves having to move the view around any other way. Yeah, here we are. Sort of a reasonable airport here. I don't know, do we park here or do we carry on? No, it says no entry there. I'm tempted to stop here. Okay. Parking brake. Transponder can come off. We can turn off some of the lights. We can raise the flaps. Fuel pumps can come off. What else can we turn off? Pitos can come off. Nav lights. Don't need the avionics. I think we can stop the engines. Passengers are all gone, and yeah, that's us here on Islay. Let's just have a look at the landing. Oops. So yeah, at least we were free of clouds in the end. The sun almost wanted to come out there. So yeah, we are definitely crabbing slightly to the right, so I expect there must have been a wind this way. The autopilot seemed to do a good job on the flight, keeping us on the track, and then during the descent it makes things so much easier. Yeah, I think we were a bit high there at the end. Now I say I'm letting the nose wheel drop too suddenly. A little bit off centre there as well. Ooh, in fact, everything seemed to land at once there. I guess it's because I was trying to keep the wing low at the same time. Nah. Anyway, there we are on Islay. Okay, well, that's the end of the flights round the islands for now. So thanks to Hebridean Air for letting us take this flight. Thanks to our passengers who should have got off by now. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on X-Plane. Bye for now.